Hey there, YouTubers. Here I am back, showing you what I've done since the last time I left you guys. I was painting brake calipers. I got the brake calipers put on, the new hoses hooked up, new pads installed, ready to get bled out, ready to go. So we did that, got that on both sides. And then also since then, I got the new parking brake cable installed, ready to go. Got it hooked up with this new, I think they call it an equalizer bar on both sides there. And also, I couldn't find the clips, well, at least the local parts stores. I believe Rock Auto sells them, but the clips to hold the parking brake cables. I was able to get the clips for the brake lines. I think I showed you those. These clips for the two front and the one in the back there. But these down here, nobody had them locally. So, you can see there, I was able to get some E-clips that fit. And E-clips do the same thing. Hold them very tight. Here, I'm wiggling there. Hold them in very tight. Very happy with that. So, we'll give those a whirl. If not, I've seen them online. I'll get up a new pair of clips. But we'll give those a whirl, and they seem like they're going to work just fine. Also, I was going to show you guys this transmission mount. The original was just too far gone. I was able to salvage the rubber bushings, but the pin and the hardware and everything was just gone. So I was able to take a 1/2-inch bolt, put a couple washers in here for some spacers. I also have a nut there that pinches these bushings right onto this onto the mount of the transmission. And then also, the rest of that 1/2-inch bolt goes right through the bottom with a lock washer, a nut, and a washer. This mount right here, the 2-bolt mount, was fine. I just got some new lock nuts and washers on there. But I just wanted to show you that mount here. Instead of buying that new one, I was able to very easily pick up a bolt and some washers and some hardware, and was able to put something together there very quickly and easily. So also, since I left you guys last, put in the drive shafts, both of them, front and rear. Got them all greased, U-joints greased, and also I greased the front end, the tie rod ends, ball joints, they're all greased. And also, since I left you last, this parking brake cable that goes to this driver's side rear was riding on this muffler here. I didn't like it. There wasn't enough slack to bring it up and tie it up to the body like the passenger side one is going to do. Here's the clamp. It's going to go right up to the bottom of the body. So I fabbed up a piece of metal here, T-shaped, drilled and tapped 2 holes, if we can focus here. See if it'll focus. So I was able to fab up a T-shaped, drilled and tapped 2 holes, and drilled through here for a 1/4-inch bolt. And now I can clamp this. That clamp is a size larger than this cable. So, when we put the weight on the vehicle and the axle comes up, it'll be able, and I can show you with this one, when the clamp is tight, it'll still ride in there. So hopefully it doesn't bind up. Hopefully it'll work. We got enough slack here. We'll give that a whirl and see what happens. But I think that's good. I think that'll keep everything out of the way. It'll keep it from... I think the original one did ride up there a little bit. There's some scarring and stuff on here. So this is the original. I took it apart, lubed it. It was free, so I just left that on there. Same with both these rear ones, but I replaced the front one and the equalizer bar there. That's all new. Then also I was going to show you guys on the fuel tank. I bought a new skid plate for this. The old one was just completely gone, so I bought this one off of Rock Auto. Not knowing that there's two different size gas tanks. So I bought the only one that was available that I found. Later to find out it was for the smaller of the two, and I have the larger of the two. I believe it's a 15 gallon and a 21 gallon. So let's say this is the 21 gallon. It was not going to fit that smaller skid plate. So I couldn't find one. I didn't want to send this one back. So as you can see, I spaced it down with some bolts, 3/8 bolts. I had to drill some new holes in here. And this is where this rides. So you can tell it's a little bit lower with the bigger fuel tank. Then on the back side, the new one didn't contour to the tank. So you can see here, I cut it, welded it, bent a piece of diamond plate, and see, this is my new bumper that I fabbed up. This last section here is all new. So I was able to weld little tabs on here, 3 of them. I was able to weld bolts coming through the bottom of the bumper, and that's where I got my new skid plate for the fuel tank. And I think it came out real sharp. So holding this fuel tank in there is these 3 bolts. And on the back side, these 3 bolts. Now, the only way I could put it in there was through the bottom. I couldn't drop it in through the top. It wouldn't fit. So it's not coming up, not going down, and it's pinched underneath here. I centered it in here, and it is not. I'm wiggling it right now. It is not going anywhere. I don't have to put the strap in through the center. Very happy with how that turned out. As you can see there. So that is it. So instead of sending it back, I just made it work, and I think it turned out better than anything else that would have went in there. And with that having the new bumper on the back, I would have had to make something work. If I would have got the right skid plate, I would have had to make the bumper work with that, or I'd have to make the different skid plate work with this bumper. So I had to rework this end anyways. So I didn't really add on all that much more time, I don't think, fabbing that up, than if I would have had to do it with the other style. So, very happy with that. Just wanted to show you guys that. There's the drive shafts. Got them all freshly greased, ready to go. So next, I've been doing a little work on the drum brakes. I reworked them once. I had to actually get new backing plates. The backing plates were all gone on the original axle, so I ended up going out to the boneyard, picking these out, sandblasting them, painting them for the AMC 20 axle. So these are new backing plates, rebuilt wheel cylinders. And then I had everything cleaned up. Those are the original brakes on there. I just cleaned them all up. There's plenty of pad on them. So I cleaned them up. That's the original hardware. Cleaned everything up. And I seized everything, put it all back together. And then I left them for probably months. they were out of adjustment. So now I just recently pulled the brake drums off, and they were all nasty and rusty and dusty again. So took it all back apart, cleaned it all up, and I did that on this side. So I'm going to do that on this other side. You can probably see the difference. They were cleaned up, but now you can see they all started to rust again. The shoes are all filthy. So I'm going to tear this all apart and clean that all up, but that's not going to be anything special. You guys have probably seen that before. So beyond that, if I don't get the body out the paint here soon, I do have a new oil pump and a tune-up kit for the engine. So I'll probably do that. But hopefully the body leaves for paint and the hood and all the parts and pieces. And when that comes back, then I'll have plenty of stuff to show you guys. But until then, I'm just doing some odds and ends to keep me busy. Also, on my twin stick here, I've got it all happy where I want it, so I ended up pulling the pins all back out, and I seized everything. There used to be a nylon sleeve where this pin goes, but now that I've eliminated the single stick and I put the twin stick in, I ended up putting a new pin, got no sleeves in there, and now I have the washer spacing it all out. So I pulled it all apart one last time, and I seized it all together, and I seized my little ball fingers down there that go into the plates, and then I cleaned and I painted all these. So when they come through the body and I put the new boots on, they're going to look nice and new with the new shift knobs and everything. So I also did that also. Yeah. So it might be a little bit until I put another video up because I don't have much going on until the body comes back. If I am ambitious enough and start to tear apart and put that oil pump in, the tune-up kit, I'll put a video on about that, and I'll show you what that all entails. Let's see my little goodies here. Here's the new oil pump. Just want to put that in there, be safe. I saw the gauge was reading low when this vehicle was running. Could be just a sending unit, could be just a gauge, but I'm going to put a pump in it right away just to know. And I'm always a guy of any sort of motor, even though I'm just going to be using this for the time being. I am going to put a new oil pump in there just to be safe. So until that, we'll see you guys later.